everyone. George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape, and today we're going to have a whiteboard discussion on marketing, the costs of marketing, and the return on investment. We're going to cover several different things. I'm not going to cover every aspect of marketing because there's a ton of things out there. I'll get into each one of these with separate videos. I'm going to do an overall right now of a return on investment. So here's how I come to this. I get questions all the time from folks out on the internet. I hate that word folks. I think Obama came up with it, which really pisses me off, but whatever. Anyway, boy, I gotta stay focused. Okay, so marketing, cost, return on investment. The reason I want to talk about these things is because it is so important to get you guys to understand them. I've had multiple conversations through emails, phone calls with you guys, comments on YouTube. There's so many ways I've tried to communicate with you guys and get you to understand the importance of certain things, and I have not been able to get it across. I'm going to do a whiteboard version of it today, and hopefully it'll make some sense to you guys. With that, got some cheat sheets right here for some of these figures that I'm going to use, but let's get started. First thing we're going to talk about is business cards, okay? Your business cards are cheap as can possibly be. I mean, you can get like 500 of these things for like 10 bucks. Your return on investment, NA, it is unmeasurable. Business cards are something you should have. They're very cheap. Of course you should have them. Everybody should have them. Because when you go to meet with someone, you want to be able to give them your business card. Even if they don't sign up on the spot, they've got your card and they can call you if they get their 2 or 3 other bids or whatever. They can still give you a call off that card. So you always want to have them. I'm not going to spend much time on that at all. That's a must. Have them. Keep them in your truck. They're cheap. Door hangers. Door hangers are a big benefit to a lot of businesses. We've made a lot of money off them. I'm going to give you a little bit of the breakdown about door hangers, okay? So let's go with the cost first on these things. So right now you can get about 5,000 of them, and you can get those for around 400 bucks. And you can get some cheaper, but you know, this is just the average, okay? So you got 400 bucks for those things, okay? Now, 5,000 of them, you got to have your guys going door to door to get rid of these things. So it basically, if you take your 2 guys and you put them out there, and if your 2 guys do 500 a day, so you got 2 guys at 500 a day, it's going to take them 10 days to get this done, right? If you, on average, are paying these guys 100 bucks a piece, that's $200 a day. So where are you at? You're going to be at $2,000 on your labor end of things, okay? So right now you got 2,400 into it. Now you're going to have some gas for your vehicles. You got 10 days of running. Even if you put 100 bucks in there for gas, okay, 100 bucks wear and tear, that's going to get you around $2,500, okay? You're going to be somewhere around there for what your cost of that product is going to be, okay? So now, let's say on average, and this varies, it really does, you guys. So on average, I like to say you're going to get a 1% return, okay? But 1% is this. You'll get 1% of the calls. Out of those 1% of the calls, you're probably only going to land 25% of those. And I'll tell you why. You're doing cold calling, okay? Door hangers are cold calling. They're not looking for your service. You're putting your service in front of them all the time. That's cold calling. So if you land 25% of them, let's say on average, if you got 1% of those people to call you, and it does vary. Here's things that vary. Excuse me, got a cold again, guys. But anyway, 1% is this. If it rains, you will get 0% probably on the day you handed those out or that following day. If it's bad weather, that's going to cut down on them. If it's really sunny weather and it's beautiful, that's going to help increase it. Maybe you'll get 1.2% or 1.5%. Then all of a sudden, if you do it on Saturdays, that may increase it on you. Or if you do it on a Mondays, that could decrease it. So there's a lot of variables that come into play with putting out those door hangers, okay? Well, the time of night, time of day, all that, not time of night, but I mean time of day type of thing. But anyway, all said and done, let's say you get, if you have 1%, you're going to have 50 people that call you, okay? So you got 50 people that give you a call. You're probably going to land 25% of those people because you're cold calling. That's if you're decent at what you're doing. So if you land 25%, all right, that's 12.5 people, okay? if each of these people on average, and I'm just using this as an average, like for me, an average customer is worth $1,000 a year, okay? So I'm gonna use that $1,000 average, okay? So that basically is, I'm just gonna put it over here. So now you have, let's say you have 12,000, right? 12.5 or roughly, so say you have around 12,500. All right, is what that should generate. That's what you should probably land. Your expenses were $2,500. So, end of the day, $10,000 return on investment. That's on average what you should expect. Everyone understand that? 5,000 of those door hangers cost you about $400. You got about $100 in fuel. Then your labor is your big killer, and that's only if you're paying your guys $10 an hour and they're out there for 10 hours, okay? So on average, and keep in mind, it's on average, guys, all right? 10,000. Now we're gonna look at this, Every Door Direct Mail. Every Door Direct Mail is a system that was set up by the post office. So it's with postcards. So it works, I think, 6.5 by 9, I think, are what we use, and we've had good luck with these things. So I'll tell you a little bit about them. So let's say if you have 5,000 of these, all right, and so my cost on those is going to be 500, around, right now it's 525 bucks. All right, that's what it costs me to have those made. Now, post office charges 17.6 cents right now. So you got 17.6 cents each, all right, to mail those. So that's times your 5,000. And that is going to get you at 880. 880. All right. Add those two up, 880, 525, and your total roughly is 1,400. All right. So basically, $1,400 is your investment here. Look at the difference between the door hangers, where because of the labor, it's killing you, and you're at 2,500 here. You're getting out the same number of flyers, okay? Same number, but you're doing this for $1,400 instead of $2,500. So, that being said, if you go with your 1%, and again, we'll do the same thing we did over here. If you go for 1%, now keep in mind, you're still cold calling. You're still cold calling on this whole thing, okay? So, I think just because it saves you a little more money on this, you're going to be at $11,100 is what you're going to come up with. And I'll tell you something, it's better than this. Okay, Every Door Direct Mail is better than this, and here's why. You're getting into, number one, you're getting into neighborhoods that you normally can't get into. How many times have you guys tried to distribute flyers in deed restricted areas where there's no solicitation allowed, all that kind of stuff? They threaten to call the police actually come, they boot you out of there, all kinds of things, okay? Or their neighborhood Gestapos show up, you know, and start kicking your ass out of there, all that kind of crap, right? So anyway, you can get into those neighborhoods now. And you can select the areas where you want these to go, much like if you selected it when you were doing door hangers. The only difference is you can go on here, you can find out all kinds of statistical information about that stuff, like how much does the income, what does the average income of that place bring in? Like, you wouldn't want to market to somebody that's making, between a family of 5 is making $30,000 a year. They can't afford your service. They can't afford to hire you. You don't want to market to them. You want to market to somebody who's making $100,000 a year, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now we're going to talk about the websites. This, my personal favorite, and I'm going to explain to you why. Let's say on average, it costs you $1,000 to build a site, to build a website. I'm going to start off by telling you this. First and foremost, do not build those cheap-ass websites. Do not get those cheap ones that are just throwaway websites that people are trying to make a quick buck on the internet. Those things are not searchable. SEO, which is search engine optimization. Google needs so much criteria to be able to surf through all the clutter, the hundreds of thousands and millions of sites, to rank each one accordingly. Those cheap sites are not made to be searchable. Those cheap sites are junk, and you will never move up to the first page unless you have some little bitty town or you have some stroke of luck that threw you up there, because it's more than likely you're in a little bitty town of 500 people and you're the only one doing that kind of work, and that's how you made it to the top. Because that's generally the only way that's going to happen. So, regardless, for example, my guy charges $1,000 to build websites. Okay? The SEO part of that, which is search engine optimization, is done on a monthly basis, and he generally charges about $100 a month for this service, okay? Which is extremely cheap, all right? $100 a month times 12 months, so you got 100 times 12 equals 1,200. Add the two up, what do you got? You got $2,200, okay? All right, so $2,200 is your investment. Here's what happens with this site. On average, and I've got it, did the math on this, so I had to go back and I really had to dig into this thing, so I hope you guys appreciate it. But here's the math on this. So on average, let's say I get 3 calls a day. And here's why I say that. During the spring and summer, I can get between 10 and 20 calls a day, sometimes even more than that, okay? In the winter months, I may only get 1 or 2 calls a day. So on average, it averages out to 3, okay? So you get 3 calls a day times 365 days of the year. That equals 1,095 calls or hot leads that come in. And here's why I call this a hot lead. This is what makes it remarkable, okay? The people that are calling you are actually looking for your service. Up here, you're cold calling, okay? So you're just, this every door direct mail, they're not expecting this postcard from you. It just shows up in the mail, okay? That's why the odds and the percentages and how much you land are so little compared to the internet. The internet is people that are actively searching for you, okay? So that makes them a hot lead. A hot lead is way better than cold calling. Cold calling is that 1%, and then out of that 1%, 25% of that you might get when all is said and done, and things like that. So we're talking about the internet now, and this is why it's so much better, because of that hot lead. They're actively looking for you. You're not chasing them, they're chasing you, okay? So, in the end, here's what's going to happen. You average 3 calls a day, okay? Times 365 days a year is 1,095. You divide that by 2, because I'm going to land 50% of these, all right? You divide that by 2, gives you 547 actual customers that I should be able to land every year off that internet, and I have no problem doing that. I have absolutely no problem doing that whatsoever. So, out of 547, if each one of those is worth $1,000 to me, where are you at? You're at $547,000. Minus my 2,200, this one is incorrect. Minus my 2,200, okay, brings us to 544,800. So basically, $544,000 roughly, what we're going to come out on this. So in the end, you have $544,800 I should be able to do with absolutely no problem at all. So I'm going to show you the difference between these now, guys. Let's lock this down and button this up. If you look across your business cards, you got to have them. Okay, these are your 4 basic things that you should be looking into, and you could very well be doing. Your door hangers. My expense in this is going to run me, say on average, $2,500. My return on investment, $10,000 on average. Every door direct mail, way better. I explained to you why it's way better. Not just those locations, but look at the time it saves you and the headaches with making sure your employees aren't throwing the door hangers into backyards and into garbage cans and all that kind of crap, which they do. And believe me, I found that out. There's no babysitting here. Goes to the post office. Post office is remarkable at getting these out to the customers. They do a great job of that. So they're fantastic. Very good way to go. Every door direct mail. Very inexpensive. So, your websites. The cool thing about the website is, number 1, look at this number. Look at that number. Look how big that is compared to anything else on this board. It just flabbergasts me when I can't get through to people what they should be doing and why I preach and preach and preach about the website being the #1 thing you should be doing. You guys, for God's sakes, man. Take a good look at this thing. Look at those numbers. Where are you better off? I'll tell you where you're better off. Where should your money be? Right here. Right there is where your money is. That's where you want your money to be, right there. Out of all the things that I mentioned to you, where would you put your money? If I told you, granted, this is a fake $1 million bill, which is what everybody should be after. If this was a $1,000 bill and I said to you, John, I'm going to give you $1,000. I want you to take this money and do with it whatever you would like. Okay? If you're trying to grow your business, you tell me, where's this money going to go? Are you going to put it up here with the business cards? That'd be ridiculous, right? Are you going to put it under the door hangers? Probably not. I'm only going to make 10 grand. Should I put it under every door direct mail? Minimum of 11 grand. Or should I put it towards that website? Let's see. $1,000, $1,000. What's the return on the investment? For crying out loud, guys, it's not rocket science. I hope and I pray that everybody out there is watching this video and you guys understand this time. This is why I took it to the whiteboard, so I could simplify it for you and make you understand. So here's what I'm willing to do to you, for you, the same thing that I have said for the last 2 years. I'm willing to hook you up with my personal website guy. You can, I'm sure, get the same deal. Even if you don't, I mean, I know he's an awesome guy. He does what he said he's going to do. He takes care of my stuff for me. I make a ton of money. You guys can do the same thing. I've offered before and I'm offering it again. I want to see you succeed in this business. I'm not out here trying to sell you everything under the sun. I'm trying to help you grow your business. If you decide to grow your business, you need to be looking into this, because for that price, given a year, I mean, these are just monthly payments. This $100 a month, that's just a monthly payment thing. That's nothing. Cat scratch. $1,000 to come up with that, to throw forward, you guys really got to pay attention to that. Here's the thing with this. So right now, it's mid-January, okay? And come April, that's when all hell breaks loose. I mean, actually in March and April. You only got a few months to get things done. Every door direct mailers, you can do that right away. You can get on that right away. You can get that done in a week. You could have them out, have them in the mailboxes. Same thing with your door hangers. That's going to take you a little longer. That's going to take you, probably a month to get done, or 3 weeks probably. A week to get them made, and then 2 weeks to get them out, or 10 days to get them out. But your websites, those things take time to rank. You can't just put them on and they're going to be ranked the next day. Those take months to get ranked. You need to have those things done now. So if you have any interest in doing this, if you're sitting back right now this winter and you're looking at things, you're looking at the money you've made and what you've done, and you're wondering, did I come out on this? Why am I hurting? Why do we got to pinch our pennies? Man, I thought I made a lot of money. Well, obviously you didn't make a lot of money. Did you tear into anything like this? You didn't. Do you have something like this? You don't. So what are you doing that's costing you, that's holding you back, that's stopping you from achieving your goals of making money? I got tired long ago of going through the winter and having to scratch by because I didn't know how we were going to make our next meal. We ate good during the summer, but in the winter we didn't. We had to watch every penny we spent because winters were tough on us. I learned, get that internet up and get that thing going so that you don't have that. You have so many calls that come in. There's so much money and opportunity for you to make this kind of money at the end of the year with the website. Instead, I don't know. People just look at it, I guess, and just think, no, I'm going to get a Wix site for $50 or $100 or whatever, and I'm going to do it myself. And then they run that route. Okay, they ran it. They tried it for a year. Now winter's back. They're still freaking starving. You know why they're starving? Because the site didn't do worth a shit. That's why you're still starving. So, that being said, that is going to be my schmeal on this, guys. If you're going to get on something like this, I'm telling you, I'm offering him to you. He does a great job for you, and he's fast, and he's efficient, okay? As I said, you got to do it right away. You can't wait on stuff like this. This has to be going. Come spring, your site should have been up for months already. So don't hesitate, guys. If you are interested, here's what I want you to do. I want you to send me your email, send me your phone number, and leave them in your comments below. Leave them in your comments below. Excuse me. And I'll see to it. I'll forward your information over to him. So, okay, everyone. After going through all that, you are one step closer to your generic GED from your Harvard University because you listened to all the tutelage of George at the University of George. I like the sound of that. Tutelage of George. Okay. See you next time. Okay, guys, you are one step closer to your generic. God damn it. Okay, cut that one.